Greetings and salutations! Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Monday, May 31, 2021. For today's editorial, creativity needed to enforce COVID health safety protocols. We urge authorities to reconsider the policy criminalizing violations of the assembly bans and other health protocols imposed to contain the pandemic. Arrests and detentions seem counterproductive when the objective of the safeguards is to enforce physical distancing. Recently, President Rodrigo Duterte was characteristically upset after hearing reports of people ignoring the prohibition on mass gatherings. In an incident in Caloocan City on May 9, 2021, 2 people tested positive for COVID-19. And in a Quezon City pool party around the same time, 54 people were infected. Regrettably, these are not isolated incidents. Various media have been reporting similar stories from time to time since last year, even when the country was under the strictest level of quarantine. The frustration of authorities is understandable. The lack of public cooperation adds to the difficulty of slowing down the transmission of COVID-19, which has killed more than 3.5 million people worldwide, including 21,000 Filipinos. The number of new cases remains high, about triple the daily figures that were being reported earlier this year, and the positivity rate may have been declining, but it remains more than double the 5% threshold recommended by the World Health Organization. A high positivity rate suggests there may be more infections escaping detection by the health systems in place. Still, the harder measure President Duterte is contemplating seems flawed. Note the police on occasion have been apprehending people for not wearing masks or face shields while in public. After a brief detention and getting an earful from local authorities, the violators are released. In some cases, those apprehended were made to perform community service while in custody. These detentions have also been reported in the media for all to see, and they do not seem effective in enforcing strict compliance given the recurrence of those offenses. Worse, transporting those people to holding areas requires putting them in vehicles or in crowded situations, which is what the authorities hope to avoid in the first place. Perhaps Mr. Duterte's tough talk should not be taken literally like some of his previous outlandish public statements, but if he meant to merely remind local authorities to do their jobs better, then that too may not work. If they cannot eradicate crime before the pandemic, how might they fare against mere negligence? Regarding carrot and stick, besides, the national government could also do better. In the short run, testing could be ramped up further to help bring the positivity rate down to 5%. Contact tracing should be improved by conducting house-to-house checks and promoting mobile phone apps designed for that purpose. In the long run, more should be invested in the public healthcare infrastructure, especially in the countryside where a COVID-19 outbreak would be nightmarish. Also, there should be a playbook for future pandemics, even for epidemics. Plus, the authorities should accelerate the rollout of vaccines. It is unacceptable for some local governments to suspend vaccinations simply because the national authorities were slow in delivering the supplies they already have. Policymakers should also look at incentivizing compliance with health protocols and convincing more people to get COVID-19 vaccines. In San Luis, Pampanga, the authorities reportedly will raffle off cattle for those who get inoculations. In Metro Manila, a Las Piñas City congresswoman is also offering raffle prizes to those who will get vaccinated. Quezon City, other local governments, and even the Philippine Red Cross are considering offering tokens to people for getting a shot. There is no shortage of creative approaches the palace officials can study. Surely they can even come up with their own ideas, given there are no limits to the imagination. In fairness to President Duterte, even his tough love, expressed in a colorful, expletive-laden language, might work for some audiences, but he might want to keep in mind an iron hand could also push some people to rebel. Of course, hard and soft tactics could even be mixed, but regardless of the approach, the authorities should remember the enemy is COVID-19, not the people. And that's the editorial for Monday, May 31, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.